As we're approaching Pesach now, and many people have questions on Breslov customs and traditions for the night of Pesach. So we'll just try to go through a little, together with some halachic details, of course, which is halacha for everybody. And if people ask how Breslov does and this and that, so we can give some pointers. Let's see, God willing. So, normally in Hasidic davening, which is Nusach Sfard, and the Sephardic davening, the Hallel is recited in shul after the evening prayer of Pesach. So that Hallel by the night of Pesach, due to the intensity of the light of this beautiful Chag Pesach, in Breslov, they can spend almost up to an hour doing the Hallel. It's said word for word and with power, just being there. The thing is that the family at home is waiting, right? The children, little kids, sometimes the wives, they don't go to shul, they're at home taking care, getting ready for the Pesach table, whatever. So, and they're hungry, people are hungry and drained, after working so hard on the eve of Pesach. And the husbands come as if nothing happened, they were flying on cloud 9 with that davening. So, what to do to avoid this problem? So, it's already brought down in the halacha that since normally the Seder takes a long time, and by the time people actually get to eat, they're already drained out and tired and everything. So, it's already brought down in halachic books. It's good to give, for example, the children and the weak and the women and even the men if needed, to eat on the afternoon of the day before Pesach, on Erev, the eve of Pesach, to eat items like potatoes and eggs to keep them full, but not so full. Because the halacha is you're not allowed to eat matzot on the eve of Pesach. We're not allowed to. We have to reserve it exclusively for the night of Pesach. And at the same time, people are hungry. And especially seeing the delicious foods being prepared for the night of the Seder, and you're waiting and waiting. There's a lot of waiting in the night of Pesach. So it's suggested to give and to make sure that the family members eat enough eggs, potatoes, which fill up a person to a certain quantity, or other foods that they can eat, but not matzah, of course, so that they'll be contained at least to when the Seder begins. Because again, it has to be, you take so long and this. Let that person, let the wives and the kids and everyone eat something before lighting the candles on the eve of Pesach. It's a mitzvah, it's brought down. And of course to rest, because for those who need the energy to be up almost all night saying the Haggadah. Because don't forget, some people finish at 1 in the morning, some people finish at 2 in the morning. I was once by a Breslov family that they finished at 4:30 in the morning. Right, 5 in the morning they finished the Seder. Can you believe that? It was all night. We didn't even sleep. Right after the Seder night, we went right to davening, right straight to davening, shacharit nets. So you have people who have such an immense light, you need energy for that. So it's suggested to sleep a little, to rest, even though for some people it's hard, because it's such a hectic day. The eve of Pesach, burning the chametz, and those who have the custom to get a haircut before, and then also to those who go to the mikveh, and also the preparations, and some make matzahs also. So there's a lot of preparations done on the man's side, the woman's side, preparing the whole table that it should be fitting. So there's a lot of work to do. So to find time to rest on Erev Pesach, the eve of Pesach. So as we said, the davening is extra long by most Hasidic circles, since in Breslov the majority of people daven the Hasidic Nusach or the Sephardic Nusach. You have also some Ashkenazim, but they don't have the Hallel. So it's long davening. Then the family comes home together, and all the setups, that everyone has their wine, the Kiddush cups, their pillows to lean on. You check that the matzahs, there's enough matzahs for everybody, that all the maror was checked, all the leaves of the maror were cleaned, everything is great. Okay, so now in Breslov, people asking for Breslov customs. In Breslov, it is a custom, and it's brought down in Rabbi Nachman's Likutei Moran, lesson 21, to say the Haggadah out loud. Some people even scream it. It looks funny, but they're screaming the Haggadah. Others, they say it with a beautiful tune out loud. It's a time to say it together. Some people explain every stanza, every section. Each one, there's no Breslov custom specific to that. Each one does as they feel comfortable with, as they receive from their family. But it's important not to say it in a low tone, to say it loudly. He says, Rabbi Nachman, that saying the Haggadah loudly is a form of tikkun habrit, rectification of the covenant, a blemishment in sexual impurity. Saying the Haggadah out loud is a rectification for that. So that's one thing. Rav Nosson himself, believe it or not, he would say the whole Haggadah while lying on his side, reclining on his side on a couch, facing the wall. He wouldn't even be facing the table. At the table would be his family, the wife and the kids and the guests, whatever. And he was in such an intense light and connection to Hashem that he would face the wall, turned around from the table, lying down, reclining on his couch, and say the Haggadah out loud, but one-on-one with himself. And every year, when he would reach the point where it says Zog Gilui Shechina, this is the revelation of the divine presence, he would faint. Every year he would get so intensified in the saying of the Haggadah that he would faint. And every year for the family was a bit of a burden, because they know that he was expected to faint. So they were getting ready that he's going to faint when he comes to that point. So it was very hard for them on that side, that he would faint when he got to the words Zog Gilui Shechina. But again, that's Rav Nosson. Fine. So besides that, there's no other sticking out customs in Breslov. Just to do the whole Seder with joy, and not to get upset that some people at the table are grouchy. Okay, let's hurry up already. I want to finish up. Some people, they're grouchy and everything. To have just a calm attitude, because such a big light is being revealed on the night of Pesach. And not to be upset that things don't work out, that some family members, they can't eat all the matzah that you tell them to eat, and they don't do things right, and not to be upset at anybody. You did your best, they're trying to do their best, so go with it, and not to be, there's no room at all to be makpid, to try to be angry, and to be exceptionally, pointing a finger at the people. You have to eat like this, you have to do like this, keep on eating. Just to take it easy, to have an easy attitude. This is basically the night of Pesach, like every Jewish home does normally, should be. But like I said, some people finish the Haggadah after midnight, some try to finish it before midnight. It is brought down in the book Sech Sarfei Kodesh, that also in Halacha, that one should aim to eat the afikomen before midnight. The question is which midnight. There's what's called halachic midnight, and there's two opinions of the halachic midnight. So it's brought down there that certain Breslover Hasidim would follow even Rabbi Nachman's opinion of what time, his opinion of the two opinions, what time midnight is, that they would try to eat the afikoman before that midnight. But again, if it doesn't work out, not to blow up, to have a calm attitude. One point I should mention, that it's an amazing halachic insight, is that the kids, keeping the kids busy and occupied until the manishtana and for the rest of the seder is not so easy. So there's many customs. There is a custom that says in the halacha to give the children nuts to play with and to eat. So now what that means, not to give them just like 2 or 3 nuts. I've seen families where they give each child a personal Pesach, Kosher for Passover nutcracker with a giant bag of nuts, and it's so fun for them cracking the nuts and keeping them busy, and they enjoy doing it, and they're cracking nuts and they're playing games with the nuts, exchanging walnuts for hazelnuts and almonds, whatever, and they're in their nutshells. They have them in their nutshells to keep them busy. That good time, it's an exceptional, amazing custom which works. And some people buy toys for the kids even before looking for the afikoman, to keep the smaller children busy, so they stay up at least for manishtana, for part of the Suda, etc. But the attitude of the night of the Pesach Seder is that of big light, of feeling like a king, feeling good, because such a big light is revealed on the night of Pesach that is not found in any other night. There are Breslov melodies to the customary songs sung after the Haggadah, like Kilo Na'eh, Kilo Ya'eh, Adirhu, There are Breslov, beautiful Breslov tunes, and the standard tunes that people have from their families, each custom according to their custom, right? So there are certain tunes in Breslov, fine, that one day people will find out how to learn them, to pick up the nigunim. They're very beautiful, very, very moving, Baruch Hashem. But in a nutshell, that is the custom. About eating what's called gebrochts in Yiddish, matzah shruya. In other words, matzah which is re-soaked, reconnected with water. There are various customs by Jewish people. You have some families who do not eat gebrochts. They don't eat matzah together with like wet products. For example, to make matzah ball soup. Some families don't. Some families do. Rabbi Nachman himself, he did not eat gebrochts, but he said clearly, if your custom is to eat gebrochts, then continue eating matzah shruya, gebrochts. And if it's not, then continue. But not to go crazy. No, Rabbi Nachman did like this, so we also have to do like that. Be normal, be calm, be happy, be proud of your family customs and not to drop them for other things. And that's enough. Final point. Bezat Hashem. We should all have a beautiful Pesach and the light of Pesach and the light of the redemption shining on us.